Our third and our final question for this episode is from a listener named Nathan. And they ask, what practical advice do you have for someone who is beginning their CrossFit journey?
Nathan, I appreciate that you said practical advice because that limits it down
Yeah.
of practical, and it doesn't allow me to say go full send because now it needs to be practical. What I would say, Nathan, is that, and for anyone listening that is considering starting any type of fitness journey, it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary to walk into a gym, walk into a coach, and admit that I need some help. My life has gotten off track a little bit. I started eating some more things. I started making some choices that wasn't adequate to what my true goal was. And now I'm admitting that I got off the path and I need help to get back on that path. That is scary. That takes an incredible amount of courage. And so what I would say, the best practical advice I have for you is to seek the gym, the coach, the community that is going to greet you with compassion.
Mm-hmm.
That your first day in, they're not throwing a barbell in your hands when maybe you haven't had one in your hands for 10, 20 years. But they're saying, Nathan, we're so glad that you're here. What brought you in?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you joining us today? Hey, you know what? I'd like to continue this conversation after class to get to know you a little bit so I can support you and know what are your goals. I think that I don't want to say the initial consult. When you walk into a new place, you can feel and you'll know, is this the right place for me
Mm-hmm.
or not? We won't use names, but we've traveled a good amount. And when we travel, we love dropping into gyms,
Mm-hmm.
especially CrossFit gyms, because this is where the members are telling you, go to this restaurant, go bridge jumping at this place, go
Yeah.
do this, go do that. And you know right away because you walk into the gym that has a compassionate, caring community, and they know that you don't know what the heck you're doing there. You're looking for the locker room. Where do I put my shoes? Where do I sign in?
Mm-hmm.
And the gym members actually greet you and they
Yeah.
take care of you. And the coach comes up and they go, hey, I haven't seen your face before. You must be dropping in. Where are you dropping in from? Where we've had experiences where we get to the class and the coach is in the back on the bike and doesn't even come up and introduce themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Class gets going. They come over and they have no history of our fitness experiences or anything, and they just go, well, we're deadlifting today, you probably shouldn't be deadlifting because we built up to this and I don't want you to hurt your back. Well, you know nothing about our fitness experience. Like, you didn't even say hi to us. Like, don't come over now and tell me what to do when you haven't even introduced yourself or said hi.
Right.
But the fact was, we already paid, so we're
Yeah.
going to stay and get our fitness in and use it more as like an open gym and then
And
see you later.
out deadlift everyone.
And I'll deadlift everyone. And yeah. So the best practical advice I have is one, pat yourself on the back. The courage that it takes to do that is
Mm-hmm.
incredible. It's
Yeah.
applaudable. So, like, wow, that's awesome. And then two, just look for the place that is compassionate and caring, and don't overthink it. You'll know right away as soon as you step into that place.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. I never know where you're gonna go with an answer because I'm like, I wonder if he's gonna talk about technique, if he's gonna talk about, don't full send it right away, or
Yeah.
don't go on the bar 1,000 times and your hands like rip. Like, I didn't know what you were gonna do, and then your answer is phenomenal. That is really just like, because that's my journey. I was a high school athlete. I've worked out a little bit, but I've been in chronic pain for X amount of years. But I feel like I'm supposed to do this. And then I found, and I'm biased, but at the time, the best gym that we had in Syracuse. And now it doesn't exist, which makes me sad. But it really was like the place for me. And I knew it the moment I walked. Well, really the moment I called, but then even more so the moment I walked in. And so I 100% um, agree with that. But I also want to add too, that's the first step, the beginning of the journey and fitness journey, whatever, CrossFit or elsewhere. But I also want to add, remain excited, hopeful, and ready to learn.
Mm,
And don't, like, if you're feeling discouraged, don't let it eat you alive,
yeah.
because especially with CrossFit, and you've had to teach me this and I still have to remember it. And one of my dear closest friends is starting her CrossFit journey, and I'm like now telling her this, but you're not going to get every movement down in the first month, probably not the first year, maybe not even the first 4 or 5 years, depending on where you're at. And that can feel discouraging, but that's the point of CrossFit. CrossFit Games athletes will encounter a movement that they've never done before, because that's just kind of that's just what CrossFit does sometimes. But
Yeah.
I think that we can get discouraged and feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I can't, like, I can get in the, like, I can't do that, like, that's not possible for me
Mm-hmm.
kind of mindset. And what I want to encourage Nathan and anyone else listening is, you can do it, and like, remain hopeful and excited to learn.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have said it better. The top 0.001% of CrossFit athletes are still encountering movements that they cannot do on a competition platform in front of thousands, if not millions of viewers. That is the point of the sport, is not to poke fun at you and say, oh, you can't do this thing, but it's meant to give you unknowable challenges,
Mm-hmm.
because it wants to see how much can you take what you've learned, how much can your body self-organize, and then implement whatever movement expression that this task is asking for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the fun of it. That's like,
Yeah.
you have to have like a decent level of foundation in every domain of fitness, but it really has a good transfer over into your life. So as Brandi was saying, oh, I could not agree more. It can be very discouraging because you're seeing people doing muscle ups and handstand push-ups and cleans and all this weight being moved around.
Yeah.
You know, at one point in their life, they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
They had to come in, they had to go through the same process that you are going through. And if you're in the right gym, they're going to tell you their story.
Yeah.
They're going to be willing to help you. Hey, I was really stuck on this movement, but I found this drill. It may help you, it may not help you, but let me show it to you. That's what happened to me. I couldn't do bar muscle ups for a long time. People were like, dude, you're pretty thin. You should be able to do these gymnastic movements. And I was like, man, I can't. And they're like, well, let me show you this move. Let me show you this move. So now I have like 15 bar muscle up moves in my library of movements, because other people were willing to just go, hey, let me help you out. They're not getting paid to help me out. They just want to help me out because they remember what it was like for them.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, I could go on and on, but I'll pause myself there.
Yeah. I mean, everyone starts somewhere, and some athletes have different backgrounds, but when you're beginning, surround yourself with the people that are going to help you grow.
Yeah.
And it's okay to communicate, like, oh, I'm really struggling with this. And those people, if you're at the right gym, if you're around the right community, they're going to support you through that.